But it's time now for US News with the Queen of US Showbiz, Royal and Political Reporting, Kinsey Schofield. Hi, Kinsey.
Hi, Mark. A busy week for you, news-wise, huh?
Absolutely. How is that news of the defenestration of Liz Truss going down and the prospect of Boris Johnson back in number 10?
Bring back Boris. No, I think that it's making us kind of look at ourselves. Do we hold our politicians as accountable as the UK does? Quite honestly, you and I are about to look at an interview with Joe Biden. We know the answer to that is no, we don't. The media in the UK, and I think people in the UK are much more aware of their politicians and they hold them accountable. And I think the United States can learn a lesson from that. Additionally, I think it's another great point for the monarchy because your head of state continues to be King Charles III, and there is some stability in that. And so if something similar were to happen in the United States, we wouldn't have that stability. And I think that those are, some kind of points that we're going over here.
However, I am salivating at one thought, Kinsey, which is that Boris Johnson returns to number 10. He wins the next election. Donald Trump goes back to the White House. We reinvigorate the special relationship and we get that trade deal everyone's been waiting for.
Listen, there's only one special relationship that matters, Mark, and that's you and I, okay? But I had the exact same thought. I said, if Boris comes back, all eyes are going to be on Donald Trump. So we think very similarly.
We do indeed, which is why I love having you on the show. You're like a very beautiful mirror image. The reality is a little less friendly. Can we talk about Meghan Markle? She's very beautiful too. And back in the day, she felt like, well, I don't know, she was exploited for her looks.
That's right. This is in her podcast Archetypes, where she discusses, she seems to discuss stereotypes, which is not the definition of archetypes. So I don't know if somebody's going to step in and let her know. But she's talked about feeling like a bimbo on the game show Deal or No Deal. She appeared, I believe, on up to 30-something episodes of the show and said that she left because she felt objectified. And that's why she quit that job. She made a really good amount of money doing it. She met Donald Trump. She became friends with Ivanka Trump. Like it opened up a lot of doors for her and created a lot of opportunities for her. Tom Bauer goes into her old blog posts in his book Revenge. I'm sorry, Mark, but it's almost like she does these things just for headlines, just for attention. But previously, she's spoken about what you have to do in the industry, acknowledging it, talking about how she loves it, that elevation, doing certain things for attention and for marketing. This is one of those instances. She's not that stupid. You can't say that you left a job because you felt objectified and then go book the new Beverly Hills 90210 and be girl giving fellatio in car. I mean, like, that doesn't make sense. You're either going to be objectified or you're not. She didn't turn around and go play a nun on TV. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that's another example of a celebrity taking the gig, making a lot of money from it, and then complaining afterwards. A bit like the ridiculous creator of Friends who apologized for the fact that it was so white. Get over yourself. What about Joe Biden, the leader of the free world, the president of the United States? He's known as Sleepy Joe. Well, he lived up to his nickname, didn't he, this week?
Yes. Talking to MSNBC, the reporter asks him point blank, you looking about, thinking about running? He says, yeah, I am thinking about it. But then he says, what about your wife? And Mark, I think his brain checks out for a second. Like, you know how you used to have to hit the modem to restart your computer? I feel like we hit the modem right there. I don't know if you have the clip, but it is a second.
We do. I will ask you, if you're watching or listening on DAB+, take a listen to this. And he literally just goes on to standby mode halfway through his answer. Take a look at this.
I have not made that formal decision, but it's my intention to run again. And we have time to make that decision.
Dr. Biden is for it. Mr. President. Oh.
Dr. Biden thinks that, my wife thinks that that we're doing something very important.
It would be funny if he didn't have access to the nuclear codes. It would be funny if Russia hadn't invaded Ukraine, that there was a global energy crisis, that there was raging inflation. It would be funny if America wasn't a politically and socially divided country. This is scary stuff, isn't it, Kinsey?
We have this conversation constantly, and that's why I applaud your country for holding your politicians accountable, for having these conversations, and for, I sympathize for Liz, but she said, I can't do the job I promised that I would do for you, so I'm going to step aside. I applaud her for that. Our politicians are so stubborn, and it's about control. It's about power. And a lot of times it's about financial gain in the background that we don't even know about. And I do think that in this particular situation, 2024 is going to be pretty scary for the Democratic Party.
He's got no chance of another 4 years, has he?
Yeah, good luck. I mean, he's 174. I think the guy needs a nap. Let him go to Cabo.
Sorry, Kinsey, I just nodded off. There you go. I should have had a coffee before I went on air. The queen of US showbiz, royal and political reporting, Kinsey Schofield. Do check out her brilliant royal website, To Die For Daily.